So today we'll discuss about how to develop CRUD operations with fake API, that is db.json file. We already know whenever you develop any application Angular, your Angular application consists of multiple modules. Module consists of components as well as services. Components as well as services. Component is nothing but a TypeScript class. It is a simple class, and this class consists of variables as well as methods. Service is also nothing but a class. This class consists of methods. In this methods, we have to write some code. What type of code we have to write means invoking APIs. Invoking APIs or database calls that we'll try to use. Now I want to create one database, that is db.json file. It is a fake API, and this is my Angular application, and my application will communicate with this database and perform CRUD operations like insert, update, delete as well as select. I want to perform these CRUD operations. Yes or no? What is my requirement here? First of all, I will try to explain. Then we'll start doing the project. So first of all, I want to create one project in Angular. So first you have to open Node.js. Make sure that all the softwares are installed in your laptop or PC. First of all, step number 1, install Node.js. And then step number 2, check whether Node.js was installed or not. Node.js was installed or not. Whenever we install Node.js, npm also, Node.js command prompt will be installed. So node space -v, that is the command to check whether Node.js was installed or not. Check whether npm was installed or not. Node package manager. npm was installed or not. You have to check. Command to check npm was installed or not, npm space -v. And then check whether TypeScript was installed or not. The command to check TypeScript was installed or not is tsc space -v. tsc space -v. And then check whether Angular was installed or not. Angular was installed or not. The command to check whether Angular was installed or not is ng space v -v. ng space v. So first I will try to open my Node.js command prompt, and here I will try to check whether Node.js was installed or not. Node space -v. You can see the version of Node.js, version 15.4, latest version is there. And then check whether npm was installed or not. npm is the node package manager. It is the largest library. If you want to get any node modules, or if you want to get any TypeScript or Angular softwares, you can get from npm. So npm was installed or not. Yes or no? So here you can see the npm version also will be displayed here. And then check whether TypeScript was installed or not. TypeScript was installed or not. The command to check is tsc space -v. So TypeScript you can check 4.1.2 the version. Check whether Angular was installed or not. ng space v. Then you can see the Angular version. And apart from that, you have to install Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code is required. It is an editor to develop the applications in Angular. db.json is the database file. Here you can see Angular 11 version is there, Node 15, operating system Windows 32-bit, and Angular. All the softwares are successfully available, and I'll try to open my Visual Studio Code. It is an IDE. You can directly download from Google. Visual Studio Code is an editor to develop the applications in Angular. Okay. And then I want to create one project in Angular. So here you can see, in order to create a project in Angular, we have to write the command ng space new space project name CRUD demo, or you can simply give as emp CRUD. emp CRUD. I'll give the project name. Press enter. So it will take some time to create the project, and initially it will ask, do you want to add the Angular routing module? Yes, I want to add the Angular routing module. You have to press yes. Is it clear? So let us see here. And this is my Visual Studio Code. It is an editor to develop the application. So here you can see what is my requirement here. I'll try to explain you first, then we'll try to practically implement that one. Okay, it will take some time. Let us wait. So here, first of all, My requirement is I want to perform CRUD operations. I want to create one database. I want to create one database. This is a fake API db.json file. This is one fake API, and this is my Angular application. My Angular application consists of what different files are available, like components are there. Here I have app.component.ts. Similarly, app.service.ts. Similarly, app.component.html. Similarly, app.component.css. These are the different files that are available, what we have to deal now. So here still it is taking some time to create. Okay, no problem. So as a developer, you must know where to write the code. So app.component.html, this file we need to write some design code. App.component.ts, this file is used to write some business logic code, and communication with what? Services. Communicate with what? Services. Yes or no? And here you have app.component.css. In this file, you have to write the styles. CSS code you have to write here. CSS code. And app.service.ts. Here you have to write this invoking APIs. Invoking APIs. API calls will try to do in this particular file. Service.ts. Yeah, here you got. Yes, I'll press yes. And it is asked, do you want to allow the Angular routing? Yes. Enter, enter. So it will take some time to create the Angular project. I think I already created one project with the same name. That is why I'm getting an error. Command to create the project in Angular. ng space, new space, project name. My project, I will try to give the name. Press enter. Let us wait for that. Okay. So this is my requirement. Yes. Do you want to allow the Angular routing? Yes. Press enter. Yes, it will take some time to create the project. Okay. Now let me explain the requirement here. So my requirement is something like I want to perform CRUD operations with db.json file. This is my database file. Here I have db.json file. It is a fake API. Here I have one table with name emp. And in JSON, the data will be maintained in the form of collections. So the syntax, that data will be stored in this format: enumber colon 101, comma ename colon, some name I will give Anil, comma salary colon 20,000, colon 20,000, something like this. So this is one object actually. Nowadays, if you want to transfer the data via network, you'll try to transfer the data in the form of JSON only. In olden days, people used to transfer data in the form of XML. There are two languages are there. One is XML is there. Other one is JSON is there. So what is the difference between why these two are used? Means two advantages are there. One is to maintain the configuration file. Is it clear? At the time of application development, mostly three types of files will be there. One is design files will be there. Other one is code files will be there. Another one is configuration files will be there. In Angular also, you have these three types of files are there. Design files are nothing but .html and .css comes under design file. Code files are nothing but .ts files. Configuration files are nothing but .xml files and .json file. .ts files. Nowadays, we are writing some of the configuration in .ts file. So configuration means what? Establishing the connectivity between the layers. For that also configuration is required. Registering the third-party services within your application. For that also configuration is required. Giving some instructions so that the framework will take the decision to create the objects and inject the objects. For that also configuration is required. Like angular.routing.module.ts. So actually, XML JSON main purpose is two things. One is to maintain the configuration file. Other one is to transfer the data via network between the layers. To transfer the data also, we'll use XML and JSON. But nowadays JSON is very popular. JSON is a lightweight compared with XML, and it supports mobile also, because nowadays mobile apps became very popular. No, mobile cannot read the data from XML. That is why all the apps are using the data transfer in the form of JSON. So today we are discussing about one fake API, that is db.json file. So this is only our database, no Oracle SQL server, just one fake API I am creating. Yes or no? Now here I want to store one more student employee details, e number colon 102, comma e name colon, some name I will try to give, some Amit I will try to give, and a salary colon some 23,000, something like that. Yes or no? So this is one database. Now in Angular application, here you have one component will be there. Class. Component is nothing but a class. It consists of what? Variables and methods. Here you have one component is there. Already we explained. Again, once again, I'm explaining this one. Then we'll go back to the coding part. Here I'll try to declare one constructor. And here I'll try to declare one method on submit. On submit method I will try to declare. This is my component. Component is nothing but a class. What type of code you write inside this method means some business logic. And here you have service is there in Angular. Here I have one service called app service. And in this service also, I'll try to declare one constructor. And here I'll try to declare one method, something like get users. This is one method. And here I'll try to use something like save user. This is one more method. Okay. And here my requirement is enter employee number, enter employee name, and enter salary. And here I have one save button is there. So what is my requirement? This is the designing code. So if I want to write this designing code, you can write in app.component.html file. What is the name of this file means? app.component.html. And the name of this component file name is app.component.ts. And the name of my service file is app.service.ts. Now what is happening here? Let us see. And in Angular, you have a concept called data binding is there. Whenever you enter the values in the text boxes, automatically that values are stored in this TypeScript variables. E number colon number, e name colon string, and salary colon number. Yes or no? Now here let us see here. And in order to establish the connectivity between these layers, we can establish by using constructor parameters. So now component will communicate with what? Here component will communicate with service. Service will communicate with what? Database. Database will give the result back to who? Service. Service will give the result back to component. Component will use the result and render the output to your HTML. This is what happening here. So how component will communicate with service means by using HTTP methods. Here you have one predefined service class is there, that is HTTP client. So HTTP is a protocol which is used to communicate with APIs. This HTTP consists of some ready-made methods: get, post, put, delete. To perform CRUD operations or to communicate with the database, we'll use these ready-made methods that are available in HTTP. Okay, let us see here. Anyway, my project is created successfully. Now I want to show you practically this example. So go to your open file, go to open folder. Now you can go to your C drive because my project is created in C drive now. Go to your my computer. There you can see C drive. There you can check what is the name I have given, my project. I think I create one folder with the name my project. Where my program is saved actually, you see. C drive users Satya, one folder is there. So go to C drive. There you can see users. There you can see Satya. Here my project is created, my project. So open that, select the folder. So whenever you write one command in Angular, what is the beautiness of Angular, you know? It will directly download the project from NPM. All the project related files will be downloaded. TypeScript files, design files, configuration files. You can see all that files in SRC folder. Go to SRC app. There you can see component.ts, component.html, component.css, routing module.ts. Lot of files are available here. Is it clear, everyone? Go to app.component.html. Yeah, the font is increased. First of all, go to app.component.html. Some default code is coming. As a developer, your first job is check whether a Angular project is running successfully or not. Go to terminal, new terminal, so that you can see one console window. In this window, you can type one command to check whether your Angular application is running successfully or not. The command is ng server space -o policy. We are giving permission for the current user to run the command. And we already know how to create the components and services in Angular. We have some commands are there. How to create a project in Angular, ng space new space project name. This is the command to create a new project in Angular. How to create a component in Angular, ng space g space c space component name. How to create a service in Angular, ng space g space s space service name. Sir, no, these three commands are helpful for us to create the components as well as services. It is working. It will take some time. You have to wait. So meanwhile, what I will do, go to your app.component.html. Some default code is there now. You can delete that code because we have to modify this code here only. Yes or no? So where to write the designing code? app.component.html. Logic you can write in app.component.ts. Services you can write in app.service.ts file. Yeah, compilation has started. Here you can see. Now you can open your browser and type the command. It is asking you to open the browser, which browser you want to choose. So I have selected Google Chrome. By default, Angular project will run under 4200. It is running successfully. You can see the output here. Okay. So now I will go to my app.component.html and delete this default code. I'll try to delete this default code. And here simply I want to display one message for time being. Welcome to CRUD operations. Welcome to CRUD operations. If you want to display in H1 big font, you can change the display the text inside H1 tag. Save it. So in Angular, you have an option called auto compilation. Whenever you do any modification, automatically it will be compiled. So here you got the output. Welcome to CRUD operations. Now we are performing the CRUD operations here. Yes or no? Let us see how to perform. First of all, I want to create one component. So here you can go to your terminal. Control C, Y, press enter. So now here first of all I want to create one component in Angular. The command to create a component in Angular. ng space g space c space component name. I'll create one component with name register. So here you can see I'm creating one component. ng space g means generate. Generate one component in Angular with name what? Register. So here I'm trying to create one component. Component is successfully created. Whenever a component is created, 4 files will be created. One is component.html to design the form, component.ts to write the logic, component.css to apply the styles, component.spec.ts to write the test cases. And then I want to create one service in Angular. ng space g space s space register. My service name is also register I'm giving. So here one service is generated. Here you can see register.service.ts. One file is generated. Here you can see. And whenever you create a component and service, automatically this component and services are registered with app.module.ts file. So here you can see the component is registered and module.ts consists of 4 sections: declarations, it is used to register the components; imports, it is used to register the modules; providers, it is used to register the service. What is my service name? Here you can give the register service. But in order to register the service in Angular, what to do? Here you have to write import. Import from. Here you can write @Angular / common. Here you have to register this HTTP client service. I'll try to register that one. HTTP client. Angular / common / HTTP. Here you have to mention. And here also you can register the HTTP client. And here you can register that HTTP module here, HTTP client. Okay, that we'll see anyway. So first of all, I have created one component and I created one service. Now I want to create one database, that is db.json file. In order to create one database, you have to start the JSON server. You have to start the JSON server. So here what to do, I'll clear the screen, CLS. The command to start the JSON server is npm install space -g space JSON server. JSON server. So the purpose of this command is, see, your Angular application will run in one server, db.json is run in another server. So I'm starting that server, npm install space -g space JSON server. Then automatically one database file will be generated. Just I'm installing the JSON server. Next I have to write one more command to start the JSON server. Two commands you have to write. One is to install the JSON server. Another one is to start the JSON server. Your Angular application is running on Node.js environment. Your db.json is running on JSON server. So two servers must be on. Now I'll try to start the JSON server. For that also one more command is there. JSON-server space --watch space. There is one default API file is there, that is db.json file. So watch db.json file. By default, that JSON will run under port number 3000. Your Angular application will run under 4200. Your JSON server will run under port number 3000. So it was opening. Here you see I just clicked on this particular control, click. Then you can see that db.json API, it is running under your browser. Here you see. I think it is running in Internet Explorer, no problem. Or if you want to run in Chrome also, you can run. Copy the URL and paste it here. You can see. Yes or no? Two browsers I opened. One is to run what? Angular application. Here it is. Your Angular application is running here, and under port number 4200, your db.json file is running under 3000. Now you can edit this file. This is your JSON format. You can edit this file to perform CRUD operations. And through runtime also you can what? Catch the values. So here what I will do here, I will try to go to my project. There I can see one file is generated with name db.json. Don't close the command prompt. Terminal must be there. And here you can see db.json file is there. Here some default data is available. I will delete all this data. I will customize this db.json file. Is it clear? Here I will try to create my name as EMP, and here I want to give some data here. Here you can see, here I'll try to give ID is mandatory, and here I'll try to give enumber :101. Just I'll give one dummy data here, 101, and here I'll try to give ename. I want to save the employee details like employee number, employee name, and salary. Employee name I'll try to give some name. I'll give some Jaydeep. I will give, and here I'll try to give something like salary. Salary I'll try to give. Yes, it is string. I'll try to give Some salary 23,000. String value must declare within double quotes. In data, if you are from regular Oracle or SQL Server database, there the data will be stored in the form of tables, but here the data will be stored in the form of objects. Yes or no? This is your db.json file. Now once you save the changes, automatically compiled. Once again you go and check in your browser whether the data is updated or not. Just refresh. Here empty came, okay. My table name is EMPs. Yes. My table name is EMP, I think. So you can check here. So here automatically the URL also will be modified. Here you can see you got EMP. This is the URL where your database is running. This is your db.json file. Yes or no? Now go to your app.module.ts and register the components and services here. Check whether all the components are registered or not. Register component, it is registered. And here you have to register one HTTP client module, you have to register here. Import HTTP client module, you have to register here. I'll try to give here HTTP client is already there now. I'll try to give HTTP client module. It is a predefined module to communicate with APIs. And here also you have to register the module, HTTP client module. Yes or no? And here you have to register forms module also because you are entering the values in the HTML form. So you have to register the forms module. Import from, here you can give @angular/forms, @angular/forms. Yes or no? And here you have to mention your forms module. I'll try to register, and automatically you have to register that module under import section. All the components belongs to the module must register in declaration section. Any predefined modules must be registered in import section. Service must be registered in provider section. Okay, na? Here you can give forms module. So what is the advantage of registration means you can consume the methods that are available in that particular components, or you can consume the components and services that are available in predefined modules. And here you have provider section. Provider section you have to register the service. So here you can already we create one service now. Here I'll try to write import from. Here I'll try to give import from. Here I'll give .. Here you can give my service .. What is my service name? register.service. Yes, I got it here. Yes or no? And here you can give the service name. What is my service name? Register service. Yes or no? And that service must be registered inside provider section. Here, what is my service name? Register service. What is the advantage of this service? Service object is created by the Angular framework only one time. That is singleton object, and that object is accessible anywhere throughout your application. First time when you try to run that Angular application, first control will go to main.ts. Under main.ts, it will search for module name. Root module is app module. Then control will go to app.module.ts. There it will search for bootstrap and providers. And it will search this service. Service object is created. And this service object is injected within your application. And that object can be consumed a number of times throughout your application. And then component object is also created, app component. And then control will go to app.component.ts. Here it will search for this template URL. Then control will go to app.component.html. There it will search for the output of this particular component.html will be displayed in single page, that is index.html within the app root. If you already have the knowledge on Angular, you will understand this example. Okay, as we already covered in the previous sessions. So now here, what we have done, we registered the service, registration is completed, registered the components, everything. Step number 7, next step what to do, go to your service.ts. Here you can find register.service.ts file. Where is that one? Here you can see, there you can write the code. Two things I have done. One is my Angular application is running under one port number, that is 4200, and my database is running under another port number, that is 3000. Now Through Angular application, I want to save the data in my database. Yes or no? So here what to do? Go to your register service. There you can declare one constructor. And here I want to import the module. How to import? Import from. Here you can write @Angular / common / HTTP. @Angular / common / HTTP. And here you can give something like HTTP client. So this HTTP will communicate with the database to get the data from db.json file. And in order to implement dependency injection, here I'll try to give something like this: private HTTP, private HTTP HTTP client. Yes or no? That is dependency injection actually. So that the framework will create object for that particular classes and inject the objects within your particular application. If you want to establish the connectivity between the layers, the last session I told you, if you want to establish the connectivity between these particular layers, that is possible through IOC mechanism, inversion of control, inverting the application responsibilities to the framework. That establish the connectivity between the layers is possible through constructor parameters. Just by assigning the class names to within the constructor, objects will be created and connectivity will establish between these particular layers. Sir, now. So what is the meaning of private? Means this service object can be consumed only within this particular component. That's it. Within this particular service. This is HTTP client object is created now. For that object, one reference is given HTTP, and that HTTP client class consists of some ready-made methods are there. See here, there is one predefined class. The name of the class is HTTP client. This class consists of 4 methods. One is get method, and here you have one is post method, and here you have one is put method, and here you have one is delete method. There are 4 methods are available, HTTP methods. Now generally in any object oriented programming, if you want to invoke the method, what you have to do? You have to create an object for HTTP, where HTTP colon class name is equal to new class name of. Generally we'll try to create an object manually. But in Angular framework, then you can call that methods by using this HTTP. Object name HTTP dot get of. Here you can pass the URL, API URL. Similarly, HTTP dot post of. Here you have to send the URL. But here Angular, what it is telling, developer, you don't create object, just you create the reference. The framework will create object, and the framework will assign that object to this reference. How it is possible? It is possible as you registered the service name under app.module.ts. Under app.module.ts, you have registered the service name now. For that service, one object is created. This is singleton object. Singleton object means one time object is created, and that one object you can use anywhere within your application. Within the application, multiple components you can use the same object. That is the specialty of the singleton object. So in Angular, all the services objects are singleton objects. Only one object is created, and that object you can consume anywhere throughout your particular application. So here the framework is telling developer, you don't create object, just you create the reference. The framework will create the object, and this object is assigned to your reference. This object is assigned to this reference. Listen everyone, this object is assigned to this reference, and this object you can use anywhere within this particular service. That is the purpose of this HTTP client. So what is the purpose of the HTTP here? It is used to communicate with what? Database. Here database calls will be there. If you want to perform any CRUD operations, you can call these methods. If you want to get the data from the database, you use get method. Submit the data, use post method. Update the data, use put method. delete the data, use delete method. Okay, now, so here you can see in my constructor, I declared one, injected the HTTP client. Now here I will try to write some methods here. Save user. I'll declare one method, something like save user method. I will try to write. I want to save the data in the database, that is db.json file. And here I'll try to write one more method, something like get user. I want to get the data. Yes or no? So what code you have to write inside this save user? Just call the APIs. That's it. So here what I will do, first I will write the get user data. Here I will try to write return this dot http dot get of. I'll try to give the API URL. Okay, already your database file is running now. Copy that URL. Yes or no? And give that URL here. That's it. No more queries. Like your regular database, you have to write the queries, insert, update, delete, etc. Here, no need to write any other queries. Okay, na? Just you have to give the API URL here. Is it clear? Here, this is your EMP. By default, port number is 3000. That's it. Completed. Correct. Get user is done. Save user we'll see later. Now go to your register.component.ts. Register.component.ts, where it is. You can see here register.component.ts file is there now. Okay, now here I have one constructor is there. ng on init is the Angular lifecycle hook method. This method will execute by default whenever the component is loaded. Okay, now without user interaction only, I want to display the database data in the front end by default. So if if component want to consume the data, component must subscribe to this particular service that already we discussed in the last session. So here what I will do, now component will communicate with service now. Service name must be registered within this component. So how to register means, here you can write the import command, import from, here you can write dot, is it clear, slash, what is my name, register dot. Here you can register the service. Otherwise, go to module.ts. Already we have registered now. Copy that one. Yes or no? And here you can paste it in component.ts file. Is it clear, everyone? And this is my register.service. Otherwise, not required, remove it. Directly within the constructor, you can write private. What is the scope of private means? That object is accessible only within that component. Private. This is what is the name I will try to give. For my reference variable, I will give reg colon. The name I will try to give as register service. Yes, it is already there. Again, no need to write. Automatically, the import section was done. Code is automatically generated. So, what is the meaning of this? Component will communicate with service. Service will communicate with API. API will give the result to the service. The result of the service is the input for the subscribe method within your component. Subscription is mandatory. We already told, if you take a newspaper company will collect the news from different sources and they will prepare the paper, and they will once when the paper is ready, that paper is delivered to the subscribers. In the similar manner, service will send the result to the component, and the result of the service method is the input for the subscribe method. It is a callback function. And here I want to use this one, this dot reg dot. Here you can use get user dot. Here you can use this subscribe method, subscribe of, and this subscribe method will have some input. Res is equal to greater than some lambda expression. I'll try to use here. Yes or no? And here I'll try to declare some variables to perform data binding within this class. Here I'll try to take enumber colon number, and here I'll try to take ename colon string, ename colon string I will try to give, and here I'll try to give salary colon number. I'll try to give salary colon number, and here I'll try to create one more variable, emp list colon any. There is one special data type called any. The specialty of the data type is you can store any type of value in that variable. Okay, now the result of that particular service method I will store in this variable emp list. So here what I will do, I'll try to write this dot. Now I'll try to call that service method. This dot, what is the service reference? Reg. This dot reg dot, what is the method name? Get user. Already written, sorry, sir. Get user of subscribe. So what is the meaning of this line is, component will communicate with service, so that service will communicate with API. API will give the result. The result of this particular service is the input for this subscribe method. Means that result is stored in RES. And that RES result I will store in where? This variable emp list. So here you can, in Angular, if you want to access the variables, definitely you have to use this keyword RES. So now my result is stored in this emp list variable. Now go to your component.html, that register.component.html you can go, and here you can design the form. So I want to design the form something like this. Here you can see. Okay, now here I will try to design the form like enter employee number. Enter employee number. Here I'll try to take one text box. Input to type. Input to type is equal to text. Input type is equal to text, and here you can use ng model. Ng model is equal to give the TypeScript variable name for data binding. Enumber. Yes or no? Here whatever the variable name you have given in component.ts, the same variable name you can give in the same variable name you can give here also, enumber. And here you can see, are you following? Here you can go to register.component.html. Okay, so here you can see. Similarly, I'll throw the cursor to the next line. So here I want to get the enter employee name. Here I'll try to give enter employee name. Here I'll try to give input type is equal to employee number. You can give number, something like this, number. Okay, na? And here you can give ename. I will try to give, and here I'll try to give one more. Enter salary. This is my text boxes. Enter salary. Here also salary also number only, no. So here you can take something like this. Input type is equal to number, and here ng model. I'll try to give as salary, and after this I'll try to take one submit button. Okay, after this I'll try to take one submit button. So here I'll try to take some input. Input to type is equal to submit. Input type is equal to submit. And here I'll try to give what? Value, or you can use this click event. Event binding. Whenever user clicks on this button, I want to invoke this method. Which method? Component method. What is the method name? Some method I will write actually here. I'll try to write some method as on submit. On submit. This on init method will invoke by default. When user clicks on save button, I want to invoke this on submit method. On submit of. Yes or no? And here I'll try to give some value also. I'll try to give the default text you want to display. That is save. Are you following? Now this is my design. After this, I want to take one HTML table to display the data from the database. Open table. Here you can take one table tag, and within this table I'll open one tr tag, and here I'll try to open one td tag. I want to display the employee number, and similarly here I'll try to give something like employee name. This is employee number, employee name, and what? Salary. This is employee name, and this is what? Salary. Yes or no? And after this tr, now my result came to component. Now whatever the result came to component, that is stored in where? This variable, emp list variable. Emp list variable. Now I will try to write one for loop. I'll try to take one for loop and bind the data. So here I'll try to open one tr tag, and within this tr I'll try to type for ng for. What is this for loop? I think you can watch in other videos. I'll explain clearly. Ng for is equal to, here I'll try to write something like this. Let user of some collection name. What is your collection name? This name, emp list. Yes or no? Here you can go to component.html, emp list. Is it clear, everyone? Now within this loop, what I will do, I'll open one td tag. I want to display the user details in Angular expression, user.enumber. Here you can give. And here I want to display the employee name and salary. Here I'll try to give something like user.ename, and here I'll try to give user dot what salary. This is my design actually. Until now, what we have done. Now already I have one database file is there now. This data must be displayed in the front end. Let us see whether it is working or not. Control S. Auto compilation is there in Angular, or you can go to file and click on save all. So automatically everything will be what? Saved. So once you can check your Angular project, go to your browser and run the Angular project, that is your 4200 port number, and here I'll try to run. I think my server was stopped. Again, I have to start the server. No problem. Yes, close it. And again, you can see, go to your terminal. Don't close this terminal because your database file is running in this terminal now. Don't close. So open one more terminal. Terminal, new terminal. Here what to do? I'll try to run the command ng server. Angular command is ng server space -o. ng server space -o. Press enter. So I'm running the Angular application. What I'm expecting now, my save button will not work because we have not written the code for save. We have written the code for what? Get the user details. Okay. So whatever how many users are there in my database file? Only one user, 101 Jaydeep 23,000. That user details I want to display in my register.component.html within the table tag HTML by using some for loop. Whatever the data I am displaying, I want to display the data in the for loop. So whatever the output of this register component will be given to app component. This is the child component. This is root component now. Child component output is kept inside router, and this output is given to single page. That is index.html file. Let us see the output here, whether the data is coming or not from the database. If you want to debug the Angular application, you can debug. The debugger option is also given, but you can debug at runtime. I will show you how to debug also. So the application is compiling. Auto compilation option is there here. Only one employee record is there. That record must be displayed in my browser. Here some error is there. Salary spelling is wrong, I think. Go to register.component.ts, copy this variable name, and here go to register.component.html. Here you can paste it, and here you can see data binding. Check the name. Save it. Once check here, when I saved automatically, it is compiling. If you want to save all the changes, file, save all. Yeah. Yes, it is running. These variable names are wrong, I think. Okay. No. Angular project in 4200 port number. Welcome to CRUD operations. Yes. But I want to execute which output? Register component output I want to display inside app component. So copy this selector, go to app.component.html, and here you can paste this. App-register, because in Angular always root component only will execute. So compiled successfully. Once check the output, you got 101 Jaydeep and 23,000. We have done only, we got the data from the database. That's it. We have not done save operation. So if you want to see the debugger, right click inspect. Here you can see how to debug your Angular application. So first you go to where component.ts. There you can keep one debugger here. debugger, debugger. And then you can go to service.ts. Here you can keep one debugger. Now save it. Save the changes. Open your browser. Now right click. Go to inspect. Inspect means it is used to debug your application. Yes or no? Now again I will refresh. Here you see. Go to your, see here. So automatically control will go to your code. Here you see. First which method is called? Init method is called here. Init method is called. Now this component will communicate with what? Service method. So press F11. So it is communicating with service. Service will communicating with what? API. So API will give the result to what? Service. The result of the service is again given to what? Component. And that output will be displayed in the HTML. That is how you got the output. Yes or no? So tomorrow we'll try to discuss how to perform save operation. Today we have seen how to display the display operation. Tomorrow I'll explain how to perform save operation. Thank you.